What is up, everybody? I'm back to do another quick tarot reading. This one's kind of a spur of the moment. We're going to talk about what is going on in the GOP House with the budget cuts and how that's going to work out. Real quick, before we get started, be sure to click the like button, hit subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions you want me to cover in a future reading. Please feel free to share those in the comments, and I will add them to the next video. Also, if you like this channel, you like what I do here, you want to support, take a look at my links in the description. I'd really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get started on this quick reading. All right. So, if you don't know what's going on, do a quick little catch up. So, what we're talking about today, the reason that I'm doing this, first of all, is because in one of my previous readings, I got some information that for March, one of the overarching themes in the country would be poverty. And of course, that's very concerning, especially with what's going on in the government right now. So, right as I was posting that, actually, I think it was the same night, the House GOP released their budget cut resolution. Now, that's going to cut pretty much all social programs, but it's not a law yet. It's still just a resolution. The thing about this whole ordeal is they haven't created a pathway with actual bills and laws yet. I personally think that they will, but we're going to see what tarot says about it. So let's start real quick with a card. Let's get a couple cards down. So we got the Hanged Man. So kind of maybe getting stuck, possibly. Defending. Looking ahead to greener pastures. Let's keep going. Swift movement. Messages coming. King of Pentacles. Right now in this particular reading, I'm feeling like there's a little bit of a tyrant energy right here. So let's get some information on the King of Pentacles. Okay, so children, childhood, innocence. Maybe the King of Pentacles is not so bad in this spread. We'll see. Let's keep going. So I get the sense that this is going to get hung up in the courts. There's going to be a lot of people defending against. And this, again, just in case I didn't make it clear, this is an overall starting point for what we can expect with these budget cuts and how it will progress along through our system. And we'll eventually get to where it makes it to, if it makes it or not. So, going to get hung up in the courts. There's going to be defense against this. Sorry for the bird chaos. It's just a part of life at this point. With this card, let's get some information on that card. Let's see. Let's get clarification on the Two of Wands. I feel like there's a world energy attached to that card in particular. Oh, okay, so we've got the Tower. So that could mean that this is a world issue, that it becomes a world issue. Let's get one more card for clarification on the Two of Wands and the Tower. Tarot, give us clarification. How does this fit into this equation? How does this affect the situation? Okay, so choices. And with down here with the rapid movement. Now, if you watch that previous reading that I was talking about, there was a sense that someone was going to kind of come, sorry, that's my big bird. So I'm going to try not to edit the video to like cut out the bird screams. Let me go talk to my bird. Okay, I'm back. So in the previous reading, we had a situation where there was someone entering onto the scene around March, end of this month, beginning of March, who was going to basically bring some type of good tidings. And I kind of feel like this line right here is a little bit of a reiteration of that, because a lot of people's life will essentially be on the line. You know, if we're seeing cuts to Medicaid and stuff like that. So I feel like, again, there is a sense here of someone's going to change the course of this entire situation. So let's get more clarification on line 2 and kind of see if we can figure out who or what, or just some extra details. Oh, okay. So we had a couple cards jump out, both of which are swords. Very interesting. So 2 swords cards. So I'm going to say right here for this second line, with the addition of these 2 cards, someone here, I don't know who it is, they're bringing a message quickly to us. They see that, this is all spiraling out of control. And this may very well be someone in the GOP who's high ranking, because that's kind of like what I'm getting the sense of here. This is someone who is tired of feeling scared, someone who is tired of being quiet, and they've been dormant for long enough. They've been silent for long enough. So that's really like, just to give you another look at these cards real quick, this person feels like they've been silent long enough. They've been letting their knowledge languish, and they are tired. And I feel like someone is going to come onto the scene in March. And I don't think that they'll greatly shift the tide, but I think that there is a sense of, like, we're leveling up in the pushback against the GOP and what's happening. Okay, so let me clear this spread and we will get a new question. Okay, next question. So the Senate has their own budget. So there is a possibility that the Senate and the Congress will completely, totally disagree. So let's get a card. Are they going to butt heads, the Senate and Congress? Will they butt heads over the budget? Will the Senate want to push their budget? Will they butt heads? Lots of money, wealth, affluence. Again, there's this global reference. I always take that card as a global reference in these types of readings. There's illumination. Will the Senate and the Congress butt heads on this budget? So I can kind of see the wealthiest people in the Senate maybe going along with Congress's budget. And they do have to come to some type of agreement. They can't just, go with one or the other. They have to go through the reconciliation process. So the wealthy, I feel like, are in control of what happens in this spread. Let's get some clarification. For the Pentacles card, does this mean that the wealthy are going to call the shots on this issue? No, okay. The wealthy might walk away. Okay, interesting. So the wealthy might step away from this issue. Meanwhile, I feel like there's this energy over here of, like, I'm done. I'm done with this. This is a mess. I'm tired of staying silent about it. Shining a light on the tragedy that this is going to cause. And then with this card's been coming up a lot in these types of readings for me. I don't know if it has for anybody else, but I think it's a good indicator. Actually, these 2 cards together came up twice together, just like this in my last reading. So something really big is on the horizon here. And I think, I don't know, it feels like people are kind of starting to say, okay, this is enough. This is not going to work. This is not, because you have to think, like, of all the people in the Senate and the Congress, like, are they all willing to risk their political careers in the future in case this Trump wish list / Heritage Foundation thing for some reason doesn't work out, right? So I feel like a lot of people are saying, no, look, we've got to stop doing this. We've got to, point out the flaws in this and kind of let people know we can't stay silent on the effects of all of this. And it's also just kind of interesting that swooping around the stack here, there's this sense coming out of wholeness, completion here, where it's like once they take the steps necessary to kind of put an end to the madness and say, look, we need to back off a little bit and we need to do this kind of a more legitimate way, then we get to a place where things start to even out, and then the circle starts again with this card. I feel like this, let's get a little bit of information on the Two of Wands, because it's been very prominent in these readings. Give us clarification, Tarot, on the Two of Wands here. It's poverty. Yeah. So I think they're definitely looking at the situation and they're saying this is going to harm people. This is going to put people into a situation where they literally cannot live. And with the Medicaid cuts, we know that that is basically a death sentence for a lot of people. So at some point, someone's going to say this ruthlessness has to stop, right? We can't keep being ruthless. We've got to be honest about this situation to get back to a place of stability so that we don't end up here. Okay, so let's get a new question. Okay, so next question. Let's keep this one simple. Let's get 3 cards down. Is Congress going to get their way? Will Congress get their way when it comes to the budget bill? Start with 3 cards. The Emperor. Doesn't look good. Okay, will the Senate get their way when it comes to the budget bill? Victory. I'm going to take that as a yes. Does this mean that there will be a compromise? There will be theft. Okay, so what are we seeing here? So let's put this card at the bottom for just a second. So top line for Congress, bottom line for Senate. It looks like they're both going to get their way. It looks like, and this is why. This is essentially why. So we have the Emperor notoriously wants to be in control. They want victory. They want their celebration. They want their happy ending moment, which I don't understand how making poor people suffer makes you happy, but it clearly does. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. This is purely speculation. But this line down here looks like Senate will prevail in a way that we'll clarify here in a second. So we have the Sun card, which I'm going to take as a solid yes. This is a victory card. And I feel like the Senate is, dare I say, this gives me the feeling that they're doing it the old-fashioned way. But then we have this theft. So in regard to a compromise, theft. So let's get some clarification on the theft. Who's the thief? Is the thief Congress? So we have a partnership. We have 2 entities coming together under one umbrella. So I'm going to go ahead and let that jump out. This feels like some kind of message talking across the aisle. They're gossiping across the aisle. Let's get a little bit more for this middle pile here. A little bit of clarification on the Page of Wands. I feel like there's cross communication. Is it, what kind of communication are we talking about here? Is this something that is underhanded? Give us clarification on the Page of Swords. Democrats. That's my Democrat card. I don't know if you guys know that. That's my Democrat card. So let's say, what is the final outcome for the American people because of what we see and know here? Because again, just to review, we have all of this stubbornness and wanting their way for the Congress, and then we have the old-fashioned method of, maybe actually acting like real politicians down here for the Senate. Then we have theft, partnership, gossip or crossing the aisle communication, and it looks like it's the Democrats. So who gets their way, and what effect will this ultimately have on the American people? Because really, that's what matters at the end of the day. So let's scoot these up. Let's get a third line for the American people. There's that card again. Oh, there's that card again. So in this bottom line, the American people, what the outcome is for us is that I think a lot of people are going to start to see things for what they really are, and they're going to walk away from a disastrous situation. So I think this is going to cost support. Republicans, once again, are going to lose support. I mean, and it's obvious, once people see like where their priorities lie. It's, not like the hardcore MAGAs like the one I had in my comments last night. But for people who still have the ability to reason a little bit, they're going to be like, oh, wow, I'm done. This is a disaster. So let's get a new question on the board. So I'm throwing this one in for my own personal curiosity, and I would like to know about the effects of agriculture, of what this is going to do to the agricultural aspect of this country. If you're on TikTok and you follow any of this stuff, even remotely closely, you've probably seen some of the farmers already having their FAFO moment where they're basically financially tanking and losing their farms. So there's a really big rabbit hole to this, by the way, guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but maybe this is something, I don't know if I can talk about this on here, but there is information available. Let's see, how do I say this? There's information available online linked to J.D. Vance and what may happen to farmers in the future. So I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't think I can actually talk about that on here. I would like to do a tarot reading on it. Maybe I'll do it on my own time, post it someplace else. So agriculture. What impact is this going to have on agriculture? Because these budget cuts also include big cuts, big, deep cuts to the farmers. So, and as you know, the farmers in this country feed this country. So if we see more cuts, more farms losing their ass, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, then we all starve. Or the government maybe will swoop in and be like, we'll buy your farm. We'll take it. So agriculture cuts. Are we going to see a dismantling of our agricultural system because of these cuts? Okay. So we've got the Magician. We've got falling out. Let's get a few more cards. Hard work, focus, intensity, a time to rest. So my bird won't stop screaming. I may have to do a voiceover and clean this audio up. I apologize, guys. This is why I have trouble filming at certain times of the day. We've got a sleight of hand. Look over here, don't look over there. There's a falling out. We have don't focus on this, focus on this. So there's going to be a lot of deception around the agricultural issue. There's going to be, let's get a couple more here. It's going to be a judgment call, a hanged man, time to rest, a couple more cards, fast action, completion, poverty. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. What does this mean for the American people? Let's get clarification. What does this mean for the farmers? Actually, that's the question we want to ask. What does this mean for the farmers? What does this mean? Spirit, tell me the answers. What does this mean for the farmers? Quick illumination. Standing their ground. They're going to stand their ground. That's good. And they're going to win. The farmers are going to win. They're going to stand their ground and win, but they are going to quickly come to see. And this is where the judgment energy comes in, and the poverty, because the farmers know they feed this country. They keep this country going. They're not going to just hang around and do absolutely nothing. They're going to very quickly and very, very aggressively see what's happening. They've come too far. They've worked too hard. They're too vigilant and loyal, and they are going to prevail. Okay, guys, I do apologize for all the bird screaming and chaos. I'm really sorry. It happens. I usually try to clean up the audio when the birds get too wild. They get really mad when I don't pay attention to them. You all keep an eye out for my upcoming video. I'm going to do like a deep dive into the month of March for things that we can expect. So if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. Turn on post and live notifications for me, because I'm going to try to incorporate some live streams. But as you guys heard in the background, it's hard for me to find a time of the day to do live streams because of my birds and because they're so noisy. But be sure to stick around. I'm going to do a ton more of these videos. We're going to track the regime every step of the way. We are going to, us witches, we are going to rise up against the fascism. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.